All right, let's talk about one of the most chilling and honestly, one of the most profound ideas in all of science fiction. We're going to break down the dark forest theory. It's an answer to that big old question, where is everybody? And it comes from Cixin Liu's incredible novel, The Dark Forest. Seriously, this is a theory that will completely change how you look at the night sky. And it really all boils down to this single, terrifying question. You know, when you look up at the stars, you probably feel a sense of wonder, of possibility. But what if the only logical response is fear? What if staying silent is the only way to survive? Let's get into why that might just be the terrifying truth. So, to really get this theory, you first have to understand the sheer desperation that it was born from. We start with humanity in a truly impossible situation, with a clock ticking down to our complete annihilation. Here's the deal. An alien fleet from a system called Trisolaris is coming for us. They are way more advanced than we are, and they're set to arrive in about 400 years. Now, that might sound like a ton of time, right? But humanity has a massive, massive problem. And this is the problem. The Trisolarans have already sent these tiny, microscopic supercomputers called sophons ahead to Earth. Now, they can't kill us, but what they can do is mess with all of our particle accelerators. This means our progress in fundamental physics has been completely shut down. Our science is literally frozen in time. We can't get any stronger, but they just keep getting closer. And this is where the scale of the crisis really hits home. As one of the characters, General Chang Wei-si, points out, the people who will actually have to fight this war, they're not even born yet. We're talking about generations and generations of our descendants, and we're essentially sending them into an impossible fight with their hands tied behind their backs. The feeling of hopelessness is just crushing. But then, just as humanity is about to give up all hope, a really strange, unexpected weakness in the enemy is discovered. It's a tiny glimmer of hope, but it comes from a pretty dark place in our own nature. So think about it. If our technology is stuck in place, if we can't build better weapons or faster ships, what's our ace in the hole? What could we possibly have that they don't? Well, the answer isn't in what we can build. It's in how we think. This quote comes from the leader of the Trisolarans, and it reveals everything. For us, the idea that thinking and saying are different things is, well, it's obvious, right? But for this alien race, it's a shocking, terrifying discovery that completely changes how they see us. And here's why that's such a game changer. For Trisolarians, their thoughts are basically transparent. They broadcast them openly. For them, thinking is communicating. There's no privacy, no filter, no inner voice. But for humans, our minds are a total black box. What's going on in our heads and what comes out of our mouths can be two completely different things. I mean, just try to wrap your head around the implications. Imagine a whole society where lying isn't just wrong, it's physically impossible. They have no concept of a bluff, of a scheme, of hiding your true intentions. The entire basis of human strategy, from chess to warfare, is totally alien to them. And that leads to this absolutely chilling confession from the Trisolarian leader. All of a sudden, humanity isn't just this primitive species waiting to be squashed. No, we're a species with a secret weapon they can't even comprehend: the ability to lie. Our minds are unpredictable, and to them, that makes us terrifying. So, with this new, pretty disturbing advantage, you'd think humanity would come together, right? Nope. Instead, a seemingly logical idea pops up that threatens to tear our entire society apart from the inside, long before the aliens even get here. The idea gets called escapism, and the logic seems simple enough. If we can't win the war for Earth, maybe we can at least save the species. We build huge starships, pack a small fraction of humanity onto them, and send them off to the stars to carry on our civilization while Earth faces its doom. Sounds kind of pragmatic, doesn't it? Except it immediately creates a problem that is impossible to solve. A question so toxic it could break civilization all on its own. Who gets a ticket? Who gets to go? And who has to stay behind and die? Is it the rich? The powerful? The smartest? Do you run a lottery? There's just no good answer. And the result is, you guessed it, total chaos. Countries with the technology hoard it. Scams pop up everywhere, preying on desperate people. society just fractures. The whole idea of escape proves once and for all that humanity is probably its own worst enemy. So the dream dies, and it dies hard. The United Nations is actually forced to step in and declare the entire idea of escapism a crime against humanity. Why? Because the alternative was a global civil war over who gets a lifeboat off a sinking ship. We couldn't even agree on how to survive. Okay, so let's recap. Our technology is frozen. Our only real weapon is deception, and our plans to escape are a self-destructive fantasy. With every option gone, a new, terrifyingly logical way of looking at the entire universe finally starts to take shape. And it all starts with this one question from an astrophysicist named Yi Wenji. She suggests that maybe we're thinking about this all wrong. Instead of treating alien civilizations like characters in a story, what if we treated them like data points? What if we tried to figure out the cold, hard, mathematical rules of the universe? The idea here is to just strip away all the messy stuff, culture, biology, morality, all of it, and find the absolute, non-negotiable laws that have to govern any civilization anywhere. It's like physics, but for entire societies on a cosmic scale. And this whole new science boils down to two fundamental and kind of brutal axioms. First, survival is the #1 priority of any civilization. Period. Above all else, it wants to keep existing. And second, every civilization is always trying to grow and expand, but the amount of stuff in the universe is finite. Now, those two rules sound pretty simple, right? But they lead to two more concepts that are genuinely terrifying. First, you have chains of suspicion. Basically, you can never, ever truly know the intentions of another civilization across the vastness of space. And second, you have the technological explosion. The idea that a seemingly primitive species could have a sudden breakthrough and surpass you in the cosmic blink of an eye. So, when you put all of that together, the absolute need to survive, a universe with limited resources, the fact that you can never trust anyone, and the constant threat that someone else might suddenly become way more powerful than you, well, the universe stops looking like a friendly place of discovery. It starts to look like something else entirely. And that brings us to the final brutal conclusion. The theory says the universe isn't a friendly gathering, it's a dark forest. Every civilization is a silent hunter, creeping through the trees. You stay hidden, you stay quiet, because to be seen is to be hunted. Any sound, any sign of your existence instantly reveals you as a potential threat to every other hunter out there. And since you can never know their intentions or how powerful they might one day become, the only logical, safe choice is to eliminate them before they can eliminate you. That is why the sky is so silent. The first rule of the dark forest is you don't talk, because anyone who makes a sound is the first to die.